Good afternoon. If there's anyone about, hope you are. So we just got a 0-0 earlier on with Hull, with Watford. Could have done with the 3 points. But if you do delay, lay at low odds, low liability, everything will be fine. So do let me know if you can see and hear me okay. I can hear myself now. Hi, Trevor and Stephen. Nice to see you both. Let's just get set up. Cracovia were odds-on favourites. Did just get an equaliser, so I missed out that one just before half-time. That was a pity. So do look out for your odds-on favourites today. We're just going to go and have a look at Germany. We've got the Norwegians with us today as well. Norway and Sweden beginning their seasons. So just looking for the goals coming in. Nothing too important just yet. So just working my way down to Germany, because that's what we're here for at 2:30. Looks a difficult coupon on paper. Holstein, Kiel, Werder Bremen. Holstein will be needing points. Wolfsburg, well, Heidenheim, only one loss in 4. You can see they're on a points collecting mission as well. St. Pauli, unlikely to land a blow unless Bayern Munich have post-international concerns. Hoffenheim put together that decent run recently, but look at Augsburg, hugely confident. You wouldn't bet against Augsburg today. On momentum, but you never know with the Hoff. That's the problem. So we'll steer clear of them unless there's something compelling. Thank you very much, Alan. I'm glad the sound is okay. Good stuff. It still says 4 waiting, so I'm not sure what that's about. So I'll just give it another update. I'm going to see if I can follow my live stream now. Here it is. So there we go. Okay, all up and running. So we'll just have a look out for the early kickoffs. 2:30. Grenoble and Lorient. Lorient second in the league, leading at the moment. That's not a great surprise. This stage of the season, it's all nervy affairs, must wins. So we'll be looking to take those draws on. Some of them won't come in, but a lot of them will. They just need points. So we've got the checks, get rid of them. And we look to be up and running. Okay. I think Crewe and Port Vale has ended. Eldenza, 19th in the Secunda League, dominating. 3 shots on 10 off 4 corners. Very much against the recent momentum for Burgos as well. We can have a quick look at this while we're waiting for goals to come in. So we're going to the Secunda League, Burgos. See if we can find them. Where are they in the league? Is there any motivation? There should be, if I can find the match. There it is, Eldenza and Burgos. So looking at the live standings, the best way to do that is to click on the 2 teams and the standings will be highlighted for you. Well, they should be. There we go, Burgos. So we're looking at 51 points for Burgos, really, to get into the promotion playoff places. That requires yet another win. Look how they've zoomed up the table with those extra 12 points. Superb stuff. Eldenza desperately need a win. Another 2 points. They'll swap places with Zaragoza, but they'll have played a game more than Zaragoza. But notably, Zaragoza are not winning of late. So this is a huge match. I can't discount Burgos, but clearly the form side is Eldenza. Who did the market fancy pre-match? Well, it was 2.45 the favourites, so the market was telling us, even though this lot are on a 4-match winning run, they're not necessarily, we can get rid of or mark off Eldenza. So look out for this one. Possible late lay the draw, that's for sure. Hope you're all okay over on YouTube. So I've got myself all set up. Your live standings are going to be key this stage of the season. Got some goals coming in Italian Serie B. Sociedad, exactly what we expect from Real Sociedad against Valladolid. Not a moment's worry for them. Samsunspor are third in the Turkish Super League. They were evens favourite pre-match. It's been a very tight second half. 4 shots on target, 2 of them second half. 1 shot off target. So very skinny or lacklustre second half for Samsunspor. Insurance is likely to be too high at this stage of the match, but third in the league. Again, we can have a quick check. Get used to using live standings. So was that Samsunspor and Kazimpasa? As you can see, evens favourites. Where are these two relative to each other, and do Samsunspor need something? Well, look at them in third. Their job, I don't think they'll catch the top 2, is to retain that Europa League place. And this is not a must-win, is it, today? They've got a notable gap between themselves and Besiktas. Besiktas, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, losing the last 2 matches. Could do with turning this around, an extra point, make this 52, and help cement Europa League. Kazimpasa are on 38, with the only way in for them, 4th place and Besiktas. So that's 38 with the win. So it's an outside shout, really, that they'll get into a top 4 berth. So it's more important for Samsunspor this match, but they're not really reflecting that at all. So let's use time pressure late on here. Target that late draw. It's must-win territory for this lot. It really is. Must cement that Europa League spot. Extra 2 points would do them the world of good. I'm not going to get too involved with Trabzonspor and Göztepe, so I'll just take that off the list. Venezia and Bologna. Venezia could do with points. They've kept it very, very tight. If we were doing that pitch profit footy, 0-0 at half time, and I've been keeping an eye on my selection ideas, the more data I have, the better conclusions we can come to as to how they make the selections. And we could even find another strategy like Dutching 0-0, 1-0, 0-1 or something, because that tends to be the scoreline if it's not 0-0. It tends to be 1-0. Talking of tightness, Bologna 3-0 in the last. Sorry, Venezia 3-0 in the last 4, playing a bang in form. Bologna 4th in Serie A. Defence v attack. No wonder it's 0-0. Could find that Bologna just sort them out second half. 4 goals second half against Lazio with home advantage, though. At home, they're scoring 2+ goals in the last 3. But away from home, they did score a second half goal, which proved to be the winner against Verona last away match. But at home, they're used to scoring 2+. Can they convert that away? Defence v attack, desperate need for points at both ends. Sampdoria Frosinone, 17th against 14th. No German news just yet. It was a bit shy last week, wasn't it? Goals-wise there. Modena Catanzaro, you'd be looking perhaps at something reactive from Catanzaro. Don't forget, promotion playoff place is priceless, as is automatic promotion. 5th place You'd expect a little bit more from them. The market wasn't, though. Put Modena as favourite. Mantova, 18th in the league and leading. They'll be delighted with that. Cosenza and Pisa, 0-2 lead against 10 men. We can say ta-ra to that one. Oh, Perry, Cesc Fabregas's Como against Empoli. Well, on paper, you'd have expected Como to deliver. But for me, this is one that Empoli would have targeted. One of the lesser lights in Serie A. Yes, safe from harm at the moment, but eminently gettable for Empoli compared, for example, to the recent sides they're losing to, such as Torino, Roma, Juventus, Atalanta. This is a drop down in grade. So those odds pre-match, as I said in the review preview this morning, a little bit too short for Cesc Fabregas' side. Desperate need for points for Empoli as well. Welcome the Swedish Allsvenskan. These two are likely to be up there in the top 5 this season, but it's a derby-style match to start off the season. Wow, what a humdinger this one is. Djurgården were excellent at home last season, but 2.6 the favourite. Welcome to the Allsvenskan. It's oh so quiet, apart from Bayern Munich just starting to warm up against St. Pauli, who I don't think will land a blow today, even though they're unbeaten in the last 3 matches and putting in a really good go at getting out of the relegation zone. Hoff and Augsburg, well, recent form is thoroughly with Augsburg, but the Hoff have been putting together a season-changing recent run themselves. Augsburg coming into this red-hot form. On form, you're thoroughly with the away side today, but the market doesn't agree with me. 2.3 for the Hoff. Mönchengladbach and Leipzig, I don't have a strong opinion. We're talking European places, 6-pointer here. That's the motivating factor there. You're all okay over on YouTube still. Hi, Bosun. Nice to see you. Would have been an idea to get this up on my big telly, but I've got Football 24 up on the big telly at the moment. So I think I've got all of the major leagues looking out for, all of the other matches in the major leagues that are out of that. The job's been done by the likes of Sociedad, for example. We're not getting any German action just yet. As we saw in the lower tiers earlier on, it's getting a bit tight. Getting a lot of... Oh, that was Samsung Sport odds on favourite, weren't they? So that wasn't expected. Pity about this one because we had a pre-match odds on favourite, 0-1 down early on. Could have just done a little bit of look there. We could have got involved. What a pity. That would have been a nice start to the day in the extra classer. Norwegian Elite Serien with us today. The big boys are out tomorrow, so watch out for them. Bodo Glimt, Molde, Lillestrøm, and the rest. It's a great league. It's a really good summer league. It'll keep you ticking over along with Sweden, both Norwegian elite and second tier, and Sweden elite and second tier as well. Those are 4 leagues. You've got the 2 Irish leagues, that's 6. You've got the Finnish Viscountliga as well, that's 7. So it's a good set of leagues. You get to know them, and you can get to specialise in these leagues as well over the summer period. You get to know the likes of Bodo Glimt and all the rest. Bodo Glimt, just goal merchants. Absolutely superb stuff. All the goals really are coming in Italian Serie B at the moment before half-time, so no real angles. A couple of 2-0 wins there. Very, very quiet in Germany. Are we getting to the nervy part of the season? Points mean prizes. We're on the last weekend before the beginning of April. Don't forget the Bundesliga will finish before the Premier League as well, won't it? So very quiet. There's no real angle to be had. St. Pauli, 10-man defence, you'd expect. Bayern Munich might be a little fatigued post-international break. They're one of the big boys. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain, even the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, chock full of international players, could be negatively impacted. Add in St. Pauli really digging their heels in. And you can see, could be a recipe for disaster. It's certainly not backable, that's for sure. We can have a look at these two. We've got our first goal, and it's gone the way of Heidenheim in a 1.7, the favourite match. So let's get that up. 1.7 favourite Wolfsburg. Just have that one ready. I like home favourites at 1.7. It's we'll need to check the desperation stakes for Heidenheim as well. That's for sure. But you can do yourself no harm in getting your insurance in immediately. Well, not immediately, just wait for this to tighten up. This is the sign of a woefully illiquid market, as you can see. We are got some cheeky beggar here who just won't move. Getting a little tighter now. So that's probably more in keeping with the expectation for insurance. So don't take these to heart at all. Betfair get it completely wrong. Do not use their scores on the Diana doors. So I'm going to do my insurance, but I've got to do a bit of investigation for Wolfsburg and Heidenheim, specifically motivating factors, and that can take us straight to the match. It's a pity I'm not getting any sound out of this. There we go, should be doing. My games have all the odds on favourites in them because you know they can create good angles. Penalty. So that will be Stephen Francis pointing that out, no doubt. There we go. Look at that. Dependable as ever. Quite right to point it out as well. Add in the fact this is a 1.7 home favourite and it suggests it's a lucky opening goal for the outsiders. That's what I'm talking about. So Stephen's quite right. That adds a little bit more confidence if we want to get involved with Wolfsburg, doesn't it? Now, what I need to do is look at the standings. Can we get a good motivation argument for the Wolf? Are we getting a few odds on goals coming in? No, we're not. Just playing silly beggars. Bayern Munich got the first goal against St. Pauli coming in the 17th minute, as you'd expect of a 1.12 shot. St. Pauli likely to be playing second fiddle all afternoon. I've got to do that research for Wolfsburg and Heidenheim. Wolfsburg, well, add 3 points to that. They're on 41. Look who's on 42 and 43. So it's crucial at this stage of the season. If Wolfsburg want European football and all the extra revenue that will bring, then it's crucial to turn this match around. As to Heidenheim, you're not going to be knocking them off their perch anytime. Yes, this is a crucial must-win. They will still remain in the relegation playoff place, and that is their best case scenario if they can't get out of the bottom three. With St. Pauli losing, they have to win. Must take points off your nearest rival. Putting together a draw and a win recently as well will give them a bit of confidence. Keeping it tight, Heidenheim as well. Keeping their opponents to a single goal. So it's a tricky one. In-play stats are going to be your next port of call, aren't they? We need to see the reaction from the Wolf. You're going to get cracking odds. But can we dislodge Heidenheim? Or can they be dislodged today? Will they score a second goal? They scored 3 in the last win. The Wolf, not on the best run of late, but they're hugely motivated. They are knocking on the door. So that could be a goer. I'm personally going to have to look at the in-play stats, but I've already done my insurance, so I can just hop on if we see a positive move there. Eldense and Burgos, given the need for points, there's no harm in laying these very, very late draws. As long as we've got a good story behind us, which I think we do have. Eldense and Burgos. We're getting to that stage now. You know it, 109, 106. It's a nice scenario to have. 1.09, 32 or 23, just to lose £2. 1.06, 32, to just lose £2. Your returns are going to be remarkable if we get a late goal. Motivation is high. This is the stage of the season for doing 109, 106. If you choose the highly motivated matches, then you're going to be fine. This is getting on my nerves. Let's go back to my just whistling all the time. Okay. Right. So just if we get that late goal, look at that sudden. They've just realised we're running out of time, lads. We've dominated this match, 18 shots, and we haven't scored. And we're against a decent side as well. We've got 55 dangerous attacks. We're lighting up the late attacking pressure index. This is what I like to see. And huge motivation to get the win. Ticking every single box you can think of there, Eldenza. Samsonspor and Kazan not going the way of the market, but it's too late now. Venezia, Bologna. Bologna starting to just ratchet up the pressure. If ever I was to choose a 0-0 at half time, it would be this Venezia side at the moment. That's for sure. But the pitch profit footy doesn't choose by your own instinct. It chooses by odds. I'm sure of that. I've just not sussed it out yet. But I've got a couple of avenues I'm working down. It's a laborious job. But hopefully it'll be worth it if we can dig out a few strategies. And I'll be putting them on the Football Testing Lab over the summer for you. I'll be just adding some bet and go ideas and trading ideas from elsewhere on the internet. So I look forward to that. Bologna, likely this could be a 0-1 late on. When you're in this kind of form, you've just got that self-belief, haven't you? Venezia, 3-0 nils. You can't discount the 0-0. This is a perfect match for taking insurance out at half time, because it could realistically stay 0-0 for a while, and this is relatively high, isn't it? I'll do a £40 stake at the moment, and this will warn you of the increased liability if you get an early goal. Are you willing to take a £14 hit? That's why I go down to 20, you see. So are you willing to take a £14 hit? Because you might get 4 or 5 of these wrong, but then you'll get a nice winner popping in, take a couple of those liabilities out. So up to you. This is my sit on it strategy, created by the Fonz in a happy days. Sit on it. Now we just sit on it. We've got a good argument that we could lay this draw at lower odds later on. We've got an argument also that Bologna could break through second half, as they have done predominantly at home, scoring 2+ goals. But I'm hoping to lay that draw at least at odds on, give myself a chance of a good return, because I believe if Bologna score, they're going to go on and win. Those 3-0 nils and 4 for Venezia, they're a little lacking up front. They're trying to wriggle themselves out of disaster by not conceding, but they're not scoring and taking advantage of that. So arguably, we could see a 0-0 for a while, couldn't we? Sampdoria and Frosinone, 1.85 home favourite on another draw sequence, but 3 consecutive score draws for them. We'll leave them positive. Last 0-0 for Frosinone was away from home, and that was a 0-1 win. Last 0-0 for Samp was at home, and that was a 0-0, and that was against the big guns, Sassuolo. Looking at motivation, Sampdoria and Frosinone, we can have a look at the motivating factor here. So we'll have to go to the live and have a look at Sampdoria and Fros, and we can look at them in isolation by clicking on the teams. You can look at a missed penalty for Coda. That could be important information, couldn't it? Just got a couple of goals coming in, but I haven't seen them being updated. Werder Bremen have got the opener against Holstein Kiel. I don't have an opinion there. And Valladolid have got a goal back a little too late against Real Sociedad. That's probably sloppiness from the home side with the clock running out. Mid-table mediocrity or relegation six-pointer? I think it's the latter. Look at this. Right. I don't know why it does this. Let's please stop. Just whistling all the time. So I'll get it back to my games. And then I lose my train of thought. Forgotten where we were. I think we were looking at Sampdoria Frosinone, weren't we? Indeed. So let's go back. Sampdoria Frosinone. Well, we can look at all of these. Let's just look at Samp and Fros again. So we'll have a fair idea. With that penalty being missed, that's motivation, isn't it? And yes, as we've suggested, it's a relegation six-pointer. This is, again, if you followed the run-in video, this is a take point off your nearest rival, isn't it? Must take points off your nearest rival. Got to slit Samp's throat, Frosinone, and then they'll move up to 36. They'll get Brescia and Sottorin involved. Sampdoria with a win, they'll go up to 35. They'll have Brescia, Sottirol involved, and they'll keep Frosinone down at 33. And along with Cittadella, Carrarese, Mantova and Samp. Wow. So relegation six-pointer Fros and Samp, isn't it? That would be another one. 109, 106. Bayern Munich have conceded. St. Pauli on the run for points. Wow. Catching them post-international break. I wouldn't have dared lay Bayern. Should have done, really. Such short odds. Far too short pre-match as well, I thought. But St. Pauli have a goal back. Got a soft spot for St. Pauli. Can they pull something out of the fire there? Superb stuff from them. So let's catch up. Modena and Catanzaro to 1-0 lead for evens favourites. Mantova and Sottirol 2-0 lead for a 2.38 home favourite. Sottirol in 11th. Is there a motivating factor here for Sottirol? Well, Germany's a little quiet. We can have a look at this. This is good practice for pretty much what we're going to be doing in April. We're going to be looking for motivation. 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 That's all these sides have working for them. Sottirol, mid-table mediocrity. But again, such a tight relegation battle that this is a relegation six-pointer for both Sottirol and Mantova. And Sottirol are the form side coming into this. I think we might have a cheeky lay of Mantova if their odds are short enough. I'll just get back to the My Games. So that's what I'm looking for. Sottirol Mantova. Unbeaten coming into this in recent matches. Mantova below them in the league. Two similarly poorish sides. And look at those odds. Well worth a go, aren't they? Absolutely well worth a pop here. Don't forget that small back of Sottirol. I think if they're going to go for bust, they've got to go for bust, haven't they? So look at that, £4.86. I might just grab a little bit here, like that. That looks a little nicer, doesn't it? Well worth doing. That's my first mention for telegrammers. So let's have a look at that. Live stream at the moment. Mantova 2, Sottirol 0. This is a relegation six-pointer. So you do not expect the away side to lay down and get their tummy tickled. And the odds are superb. Mantova 1.13 to lay. Sottirol 44 to back. This is only because it's a relegation 6-pointer. We might have a battle for the away side to get back into it. They're coming into it in unbeaten form, so it's got a nice low odds lay. It's very quiet in the Bundesliga at the moment, and we've got the 3 o'clocks just about to start. So that makes sense, doesn't it? Got a good argument. That's what I'm looking for at this stage of the season. In-play stats, not the greatest in the world, but 26 dangerous attacks to 9. Just a little hint. Just a little hint. So watch that with interest. Note that Empoli were the dominant force in the first half. That's what I expected. I thought the market was a little too short for Como, certainly not backable at 1.73, given they're not the greatest side on the planet. Leeds United already 1-0 up against the Swans. That will take them top. Won't be playing Djurgården, so no point following it. Holstein Kiel, well, 2.2 the favourite. Desperate need for points, though. Wolfsburg, got to watch the in-play stats here. Heidenheim could pull off the unexpected. I've done the insurance. So the great thing about that is I'm getting even better odds if I decide to go in for Wolfsburg +1 at a later date. So don't forget you can expand or get greater value by delaying. You can take your insurance immediately. If you're willing to take the hit on that, maybe 3 or 4 quid if you get a late equaliser. And if it remains 0-1 for a while, you're going to get far better odds. Look at this, 3.1 for the Wolf, going up with every passing minute. Bayern Munich, I think, were 2-1 up. No, it still remains 1-1. Hoffenheim and Augsburg, it's a battle of 2 formish sides. Augsburg, the better form side, doing extremely good work, particularly at home. So that's a tough nut to crack, that one. Hoffen Augsburg. Mönchengladbach and Leipzig is your European playoff place 6-pointer. Now let's look towards England and pick up some potential standouts for 3 o'clock. Again, we're looking for motivation. Promotion, particularly in the Championship and lower. Not so in the Premier League, of course. That's all about Europe. We've got huge motivating factors everywhere. So let me get rid of a few of these. Talking of motivation, Racing Ferrol need a few points, as do Deportivo La Coruña in Secunda B. Don't forget to use your live standings. Celtic, Aberdeen. You'd have to be howling mad Murdoch to back them at odds on with the season they've been having. Another odds on Hibs against St Johnstone. So not normally so many odds on favourites in the league. It's normally just Rangers, isn't it? But as you know, if you ever see Hearts at odds on, the market tends this season to get them absolutely spot on. I'm not going to do the Championship. It's just a tad illiquid. So we're just working our way down. Just going to clear out a bit of this while it's quiet. There's no goals. That's England, and it's Mansfield against Bristol Rovers. So we've got an odds-on favourite here. I'm not getting a sound, which is a pity. Yeah, I could do with the sound coming through because I have to check otherwise. So which one of these is an odds-on favourite? Well, the away side is the odds-on favourite and they've already scored. So that's not a trading angle at all. Atletico Madrid must start picking up points. 4 consecutive defeats in all competitions. Real Madrid and Barcelona starting to put a bit of a gap at the top. Welcome to the Elite Series. Just a watching brief. Big guns out tomorrow. They could be tradable right at the off. Bodo Glimt, Mulder, that kind of thing. So we'll just work our way down. I'm keeping an eye on the goals as they come in, so don't worry, we're not missing anything. Just clear this up so we can have a good look at the English all the way through and just build up a nice short list of teams in readable-ish matches or teams where you've got an opinion on. Atletico Madrid, for example. We've got the odds-on favourites in Scotland. Who's to say if the market's got them right today or not? So we're getting near to the E's. As long as there's not a whole whack of Germans. French League 2, Lorient second in the league. Well, that looks to be match over. That's we're talking about motivation, particularly promotion, automatic promotion places. Those are like gold dust in the lower leagues. Motherwell have opened up against Aberdeen. I told you, couldn't trust them with stolen money, but they are an odds-on favourite. So keep an eye on any reaction. Why has the market suddenly gone warm on Aberdeen? And we've got the opening goal for Bologna. That was my worry. It would come too early, and that's what I showed you about having such a big liability of £40 or 14. So that was certainly a lay to draw second half, but I was hoping Venezia would put up a bit more, but that's going exactly the way we expect. Bologna, really solid winning form, scoring 2+ goals away from home. Sorry, second half on a regular basis. So let's get rid of all this peripheral stuff in England. We don't want to be too distracted. Even the National League's no point trading that. Here we are. Reading have opened up against Peterborough. So I'm going mostly by league position. If In-Play Guru does it, wish it would do it on all of the matches. It would make life a lot easier. Carlisle, I think, are doomed, Mr. Mannering. So they should be a team for teams to take 3 points from. Birmingham, again, the Shrews look down, don't they? Birmingham looking a little complacent up top. So they've got to be a little wary. I'm just noting the very strong odds-on favourites in these leagues. I'll stick them on my watch list. Notts County opening up against Newport. And all of the others will rely really on this. So we're going to keep an eye on the Aberdeen match, even though I did warn you, particularly with a side with 2 wins and a draw in the last 3 matches. Hope you're all okay still on YouTube. Como has had no 0-0 this season, and Empoli has no 0-0 away this season. Como has scored in the last 5. Thanks very much, Bosun. And don't forget the motivating factor at this stage of the season. Can we make an argument for the need for a goal, urgent need for a goal? Let's have a look. Odds on pre-match, don't forget, tend to deliver, or don't tend to let you down. Done a great job, says Fabregas. Got them in 13th place, but they're 7 points above the relegation zone on current standings. So 3 points would take them to 32. And a win for Empoli will take them to 25, but they'll still be bottom on goal difference. But no, they won't. Lecce will be bottom on goal difference if Empoli can win. So Empoli will be out of the relegation zone with a win. Talk about motivation. Add that to Bosun's idea here. And do you have yourself a lay the draw second half? So let's have a look at that. I think we might have. So where were we going? I keep losing my train of thought. Sorry about this. A proper old Joe Biden moment there for me. Old Perry. That's what I was after. So that's insurance. As you can see, it was as high as a Venezia one. Are we going to hope for a tighter match? This is me showing you the £40 problem. If this happens again, you've got £28 loss. It's not tolerable, is it? Now you've got 39 to 20 to work with. Hopefully this will be tight because it is a must win for Empoli. Cannot afford to concede. And we've got that stat from Bosun that hopefully will come into effect later on in the match. So can we get one of these to really get us a long, drawn-out 0-0 for the second half? Must win Empoli. English Championship, let's just have a look at who we're following. Bannacostrava, strong favourite today against Pardubice. So I will be following that one. I've just got to clean out some of these now. So who am I going to clean out? I think the Bayern Munich one is a little inevitable. Borussia Mönchengladbach Leipzig, not sure I would be trading that. Strong Godset, let's be honest, wouldn't be trading. It's a watching brief. That frees up a couple of places. Aberdeen, we're just going to look at their reaction. Why has the market got them at odds on? There we go. We've just freed up a little bit of space here. So let's find a little bit more to add to our watch list, particularly from the Championship. That's what I'm missing. And we're going to look at Pardubice to start with. So we're going to go straight to the Czech League. CZ. There we go. Bannacostrava, very, very strong favourite today. But what's the motivation for Pardubice? You can see the reaction already from Bannacostrava. You're willing to pile in? All about liquidity though. So let's have a look. Ostrava and Pardubice. So as ever, insurance, and you're getting ripped off. So never mind. It's not going to be a huge outlay anyway, but you should be getting 103, 102, something like that. It looks inevitable, but it's great. But the +1 is likely to be 1.4 or lower, 1.35, 1.4. Well, it's even shorter. So that does suggest, no, the goal does count, but the market, it's not playable. So there we go. The only way it's playable is by waiting in the halftime score market, and that's not playable. So use it as an exercise brief. You could lay that draw in the halftime market, of course, but you could do that now. Can you take insurance out? Lay over 1.5 goals, perhaps? Might we experiment with that? Is it viable? Laying Pardubice? Aberdeen have equalised already, so the market did get them right, but I'm afraid I just couldn't read them right at all. I had to wait for the market. This Bannacostrava looks like, let's see, we can have a bit of fun here. Laying over 1.5 goals covers the 0-1. So that covers the current scoreline, and Swansea have equalised against Leeds United. Now can we lay that draw? And will we get a net profit? So let's have a look. No, it's going to be a £5 net profit. Well, that's laying Pardubice, wasn't it? Not the draw. Yeah, still illiquid. Half time would be my only way to play this one, if I was to play, but as you can see, we're barking up the wrong tree. Let's just do a catch up. Starting to warm up, 52 minutes Como and Empoli. Como starting to just remind us that they were odds on pre-match. Bologna, well, I can discount that now. It's going exactly the way. I would hope it would have gone a little bit later into the match. I was hoping for a bit more 0-0, and then boom, get stuck in. Sampdoria Frosinone, as we've seen, there is a great need for points for both of these two sides. So the later this becomes 0-0, the more interesting it will become for us. Need for points. Similar story, Modena and Catanzaro, but we've already got a 1-0 lead, so I can just take that off the watch list. We've already laid Mantova. It just looks an excellent lay. The only thing missing are the shots on target. 37 dangerous attacks to 10. I like that. I would prefer if Como were kept a little bit quieter for a little bit longer by Empoli. But looks like Cesc Fabregas has told the boys to go out and get them some points. Well, I ignored Aberdeen. Am I going to ignore the Wolf? There is absolutely no compelling evidence for an equaliser, is there? They've outgunned with the dangerous attacks. They haven't had a shot on target, and they haven't had a corner. Just going to have a quick drink. We've got 2 red cards. Cosenza v Pisa. So let me just break. Can you get short odds about this draw? It's 0-0. With 2 red cards? No, you can't. Looks like my eyesight's gone. Oh, it's already 0-3. There we go. So bang goes that. Bit of fun. Copenhagen. This is a lower tier Copenhagen. And Bromley 1, Salford 1. And that's an opening goal for Frosinone. So another one. I'm calling them right second half, but they're scoring far too early. So that's the Achilles heel of my insurance idea. You're going to be losing these little liabilities. That's why I only do £20. I can tolerate those because I will hit one big one and we will get that late goal. It will all come flooding back. But you can quite clearly see the motivation. That's why we take those 0-0s on. Do we take them on at the beginning of the second half, or do we try to get a little bit more out? It's 2-1. Mantova, Sud, Tyrol. Let's break and look at the damage. The plan, and there's a Banacos-Trava equaliser immediately. That's why the half-time market would have been greatly appealing, wouldn't it? You either do it without insurance or you don't. Is this a disallowed goal for Sud Tyrol? 2-1 would be very nice indeed. Let's just see. The market reform. So you've got this. Oh, is this? It can't be 2-3 already. That would be remarkable. It's just illiquid at the moment. That looks to be a disallowed goal, I think, from Sud Tyrol. What a pity. Perfectly timed before the half-hour mark. Or it's just an illiquid market. I've just got to wait for it to come back. Celtic have opened up against Hearts already. Well, there's a surprise, eh? So I think I can get rid of that. Hearts, when they're odds on, but they're on 4 wins in 5, so we might get a display from the Hearts today. Certainly get that reaction from Aberdeen. I missed that completely. That's my bad there. But I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. I've got to look at other matches, don't I? But a solid focus. That was what I was looking for, the reaction from Aberdeen, wasn't it? And you saw that there. So had I noticed that, I would have pulled the trigger there. Podabuce, Banacos-Trava, the only real angle there will be a lay the draw. That's exactly what you want. Probably didn't need insurance if you were looking at the 100 pressure index there. So let's just get rid of a few of these. I won't be playing Denmark. There's the Banacos-Trava equaliser, probably the end of that match. And the Sud Tyrol goal has been disallowed. It was perfectly timed. It would have produced an actual green screen and it would have got us set up nicely for at least a 2-2. So disappointing that didn't stick, but we're on the right lines at least, aren't we? We're with the right team. So we'll just get rid of some of this. You're not missing any goals, so don't worry. And the reason I'm not using their filter facility, just sometimes it will delete the lot and then I'll have to start again. Portsmouth have opened up against Blackburn Rovers. And Sunderland, an important opening goal against Millwall. Sunderland's search, I think, for automatic promotion. Be a shot, red card. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that one. We were going to Pisa, weren't we? Did we get there? I don't think we got there, did we? We're going to have a look at those red cards. Bit of the old Joe Bidens today. Oh, we did already. It was 3-0, wasn't it? Yeah. Been huffing and puffing a bit, Atletico Madrid of late. So they're not a banker, that's for sure. I like St Truden's reaction to the red. We might see a reaction, a goal from them soon. Cardiff have opened up against Sheffield Wednesday. So we need to start looking to make sure. This is a 2.2, or Pompey, 2.2 the favourite, taking the lead against Blackburn. And Stoke, the goals are all coming in today. That was a Stoke goal against QPR. Portsmouth against Blackburn. We're going to have to look at the league positions. Noah, Park, the Ark. 18 minutes in. The 600-year-old centre forward started his playing career with James Milner, didn't he, Noah? All those years back. Opening goal for Cardiff. Relegation 6-pointer for them. Tight at the bottom. Sheffield Wednesday outside playoff place chances, but must pick up 3 points. Portsmouth against Blackpool. I need to look at league positions, I think. There's the opening goal for Como against Empoli. 1-0, 62 minutes. It was coming. Difficult to discount Empoli, though. I was hoping for a lot longer, but that's 3 out of 3 I've called for second half goals. This is the technique to use in April, isn't it? Target those draws second half in matches with the biggest set of motivation factors you can find. If you can stack it up, do both teams need the win? That's even greater. Will they make an impactful move out of the relegation zone into the playoff places? That's an impactful match. Just going to have a look through the championship because I don't know where these teams are relative to each other. And just have a look at the current scorelines as well. Leeds United leading, Burnley leading, Sunderland leading. So it's as you were. This is more important today, this win for Sunderland, for Burnley than anybody else. Burnley must stay in the 80-point club. There's only 3 of them. Sunderland are looking to cement 4th place with a huge gap between them, Coventry and the rest. Outside of 6th place, you'd be looking for a positive from Bristol City, Middlesbrough, wouldn't you, today? Even Blackburn, Millwall, outside chance. Now they're in the 50-point club of going into those playoff places. So West Brom, Middlesbrough, Norwich, 0-0s might be vulnerable second half. The winners are starting to come outside of the relegation zone in that 40-point club, which will keep these sides away from trouble. Derby County have been exceptional. As of Luton Town, they are on the cusp of entering the 40-point club with a win today. I don't think Derby are playing today, are Luton. That would be a huge motivator for me today, that Luton match. Middlesbrough need the win, that's for sure. So we're going to go down and have a look in League One as well, because I'm not getting these sounds. I should be getting sounds when a goal comes in. That's why I can then check if it's an odds-on favourite match or not. Otherwise, I have to do this laborious route. Odds-on favourites, well, leading. Goal down, Rotherham, Crawley. So that's what I'm talking about. I should be alerted to that, shouldn't I? So English League One, Rotherham and Crawley. We're going to have a look at Rotherham and Crawley if we can find them. come out, wherever you are, up here. So again, are you going strictly with the market? Got it right with Aberdeen? Or are you going to just wait and look for some compelling evidence? We can have a look at the market, the stats or the league positions. Where's the motivating factor for Rotherham today? Why are they such short odds? Are Crawley out of any chance of being saved? Well, let's have a look. Rotherham, 45 plus 3 takes them to 48. They are way, way out of it. This is end of season mid-table mediocrity now for Rotherham. They're not going to be going down. You'd expect the 9 points above the relegation zone. Can still get involved. Crawley, vital 3 points. Can we take them on though? That'll be a second consecutive win. The last win was 1-0 as well. Are Crawley layable? Are you going to risk it? Let's have a look. I'll need to have a look at their recent form as well. So I might miss that equaliser, but I've got to do my due diligence. But that doesn't mean I can't get the insurance at its lowest point. And then we're going to just have a look at Rotherham and Crawley. Birmingham opening up against the Shrews as expected. Rotherham and Crawley, English League One. So let's have a look. Rotherham and Crawley in English League One. Championship League One. Okay. So we just want to have a look at the recent form for Crawley. Have they been putting together tight matches? Rotherham, have they been scoring regularly at home? That kind of thing. So we just have a quick look. Let's see if we can take on this Crawley lead. So, well, got absolutely spanked in the last 3 away matches. So this is an overreaction. Scoring and conceding regularly, aren't they, as well? Look very, very layable. Rotherham on a bit of a poor run at the moment, but it's all relative to who they're playing. Barnsley, Shrewsbury, relegation threatened, and Wickham. So not the best form for an odds-on favourite at all. No draw and 7 away for Crawley. Both teams have scored in the last 4 away matches for Crawley as well. 14th against 22nd, 1-0 loss last time. We can do that, cover that with insurance, certainly today. Scoring 2+ goals on 3 occasions against 19th and lower is a positive. We're hoping any defeat would be that today. Crawley Town against the top 14. Well, it's just a wall of red. So just on that basis, they look layable. But at this league, you've got trust issues like League Two. 1.7 is reasonable enough if you wanted to hold the fort there. I'll show you the match odds as well. And you can have a look at that. Salford are leading. MK Dons have opened up against Fleetwood. You got that, or you got the alternative of splitting your stakes and really going for that Rotherham win, because you're going to get very decent odds. If you're willing to take a hit on the draw, which will be the negative here, in the hope of nabbing that 56 quid and going. It's very early in the match. It's a tricky one. I'll be prepared to lose money on that one. But if you're going strictly by the home favourite route, 1.7 is very good home favourite odds. Just tends to do the job. Sampdoria and Froz. Well, I think we were just looking for that goal, weren't we? Very, very unlucky here. 57th minute goal for Sutirol. Disallowed. That would have really brightened up the day. Como, Well, I was looking again to take that draw on as late as possible. That's a negative of that strategy. But when you get it right, you can be doubling your returns and getting plenty of that lost liability back. Holstein Kiel, Werder Bremen, don't have a strong opinion there. The odds on, well, the pre-match favourite is leading. Wolfsburg, are they waking up? Well, they haven't had the second half yet. But is that enough to have you interested? Also, the penalty. So we can have a look. I'll just point that there. So are you swayed by the fact that it was a penalty for Heidenheim? That is pretty decent as well. Why is that decent? Because I laid over 1.5 goals and then I sat on it and it's gone up very, very nicely. You could even park the bus there now. Match odds are going to get even better. So that's the delaying element. If you've got very, very low liability, why don't you just delay? Because by delaying, you're going to get far better odds. If you're willing to take a £3.20 loss in the hope of winning a lot more, then simply just sit on it. So I'll show you both routes. The +1, I think, would be very reasonable in this position. But if you wanted a very big profit with a little loss on the draw, as you'll see, £1.48, very compelling, isn't it? I'll pass on the positives and negatives, but we're just going to go by the odds. We've already had Aberdeen in earlier on, didn't we? Wolfsburg against Heidenheim. Well, we're looking at the previous match. So Tyrrell did have a goal, 57th minute, but that was chalked off. That would have made it 2-1, and we would have been up and running. What a pity there. Wolfsburg against Heidenheim. Doing a live stream at the moment, so it's just verbal. 0-1. We've got the option here because it was an opening penalty for Heidenheim, and Wolfsburg odds on at home. Lay over 1.5 goals. You could even just wait Wolfsburg +1. It's nearly evens, which is pretty good. Or you can go match odds, half stake back Wolfsburg, half stake is liability lay Heidenheim. If you want to see how it's done, come on over to the YouTube live stream. So this is another risky one. It just doesn't tick all my confidence boxes. Swan's goal was a penalty and that was missed. Oh, sorry, Swan's goal, pen missed. Thank you, Stephen. Let's do a little update. Look through our odds on favourites initially. Any shots that I haven't found? Burnley leading, not a shock. Middlesbrough could be one to look out for. Again, motivating factor. Why are they odds on favourite today? What is the motivation? Motivation is with 2 points, they're on to 57, 1 away. Oxford, safe enough. So I don't think it's panic station for them just yet. But Middlesbrough in that very, very congested playoff area have to do something when expected to do so. So if that's 0-0 at half time, that's something to take on. But the odds on are doing the job in the Championship, so they're not producing a trading angle for me just yet. League One odds-ons are doing a job as well. Mansfield just equalised, I believe. And it's just that Rotherham-Crawley match. And Wickham and Lincoln yet to see a goal there. And St. Pauli are hanging on in there. Is that draw vulnerable? Second half. Should be beginning very, very soon. Going exactly the way we expect for both of these two matches today. Pretty much. Called both of them for those goals, but took the wrong approach. A simple lay the draw, I would have had it nailed. What a pity with our pals. I think in Serie B, or was it in Spain? An Empoli equaliser. That's going to interest. And Augsburg have opened up against the Hoff. I didn't have a strong opinion there. It looked like these two were cancelling each other out on their recent run of good form. So a whole flurry of goals coming. Como and Empoli might be one for a late lay the draw. Como got a very, very late winner against Roma at home. So have that one in mind, particularly for a very, very late goal. Empoli, of course, must do something. We're going to be late far, far later than this. Got to stroll through our odds-on favourites because they're not delivering the sound for me today. Roda and Venlo again. Eerste Divisie, so I'm not too concerned with this one. But you've got an odds-on favourite, a goal down. So let's go and have a look. Here, Roda and Venlo. So that could be one, if you like the reaction from Roda. Why not have a punt if it's liquid enough? Okay. I do like these odds, 1.6 to 1.7 at home. Just suggesting a little bit of confidence. And we've got a whole raft of them today. Doncaster opening goal against Carlisle, absolutely no surprise at all. Scottish Premiership, well, the Aberdeen equaliser, I couldn't trust it, but the market's got it absolutely spot on today in the Premiership. So fair dues to them. Still just muddying, walking through mud at the moment, Atletico Madrid. It's just real slog for them at the moment. They just can't get a break. So Doncaster opening goal. Aberdeen have just got the lead, and as I alluded to, the market's got the odds on favourites spot on. Would have been a profitable trade had you just trusted the pre-match odds. Okay, that's why they're on this list. If you want to go willy-nilly without researching and just trust them, you're probably going to hit a really decent strike rate. And there's Bring Me Sunshine. I've just got the goal. That's one of the odds-on favourites in the lower tiers. Old Eric Morecambe. There he is against Swindon. 2.25 outsider. We'll just have a look at the impact that this goal will have. Morecambe and Swindon. Are Swindon motivated to do anything? Because it's a tight market. So it could suggest these two are well matched. So let's have a look at the standings. Have they changed yet? They'll certainly be moving up. Morecambe, well, they're staying on 33, but it's a vital. There's no choice. They must simply win, Morecambe. Got to break into the 40 points, and it's a merciless league. Only 2 relegation places. And the opening goal in the Middlesbrough match has gone to Oxford United. That could give us a trading angle. If again we can trust these 1.6 odds-on favourites at home. Swindon are pretty comfortable, some 15 points above the relegation zone on 48, and with the promotion spots at 62. This looks, for me, a dead rubber for Swindon at least. Certainly Morecambe might not be layable just yet. We're looking at Middlesbrough. They've conceded the first goal. We know they're odds-on favourite. We've just got to find the match in the Championship. Check Middlesbrough's stats. Do they look like a side who can get back into it? Como, I think, and Empoli will certainly be one to watch a bit later. Going down, we're just going to see if we can find the match. Middlesbrough and Oxford. Has that goal been disallowed? I'm just waiting for confirmation whether it has or it's not caught up yet on the in-play guru. So we'll just wait on that. Rosenborg have opened up against Stroms, but it's far too early in the season to be too confident. I think with 9 shots off 5 corners, it looks like this could be a good take of Oxford. Is insurance going to be too high? Let's have a look. Nope, very decent indeed. That augurs well for another goal to come. So that looks good. Because it's come before half time, we might get an equaliser by half time. If we've got a decent +1, 1.67, tempting you to go match odds. You'll note, normally, these are very reflective. A goal down, they will be exactly the same as the pre-match odds. If you get an early conceding goal and you go to the +1 market. So very interesting that. So you can either do that, or again, if you're willing to take the hit on the draw, you're getting good odds before half time. If we can get that equaliser by half time, and they have dominated the in-play stats, Middlesbrough, I think more of a defensive unit, haven't they been really this season? Let's just have a quick look at that match. I'm not too hot on the Middlesbrough form. So let's have a look. Middlesbrough and Oxford. I just want to have a look at what they've been doing coming into the match and where these two are and how they get on against other teams around them in the league. So coming off the back of a really poor February, 3 wins in 5 matches for Borough, just got them back on their feet. 2 consecutive home wins, not conceding that second goal in the last 3 at home is a positive. Oxford United 1-0 win. They've not scored that second goal in the last 3. Excellent win against Coventry, which I think, no, Coventry won. So they did get that second goal there. I think they're vulnerable. Look at those failing to scores and not scoring that second goal. They did score first against Hull City. John Sargent, the older ITV correspondent, with looks like Peter Beardsley, getting the goal for Norwich. So that could be a template for today, conceding the first goal and then losing the match. So I think we have possibilities here with Middlesbrough. I'll just pass it on to Telegrammers. Middlesbrough have conceded the first goal against Oxford. We've got a pattern today of 1.7 shots conceding first. Vast majority of them getting back into it and leading, like Aberdeen, who I dismissed. So if you fancy Middlesbrough lying over 1.5 goals, go match odds if you want. Back Middlesbrough half stake, lie Oxford half stake as liability. No shots on target yet for Middlesbrough, with 38 dangerous attacks for 12, and another 1.67 favourite, or 1.53 favourite, a goal down. In a match, really, they must win in order to have a push at the promotion playoff places. Plenty of motivation, and we've got the whole second half to come as well. So I think we've got a bit of action, hopefully, from Middlesbrough, if they're in a good mood today. Hope you're all okay, and I'm not missing any messages. So let's go and have a look back. I didn't have a clue with Mönchengladbach Leipzig, so I'm not really going to play that one. Manta and Südtirol, get rid of that. Possible late lay the draw here in either's favour. Como and Empoli. Don't have an opinion here. Holstein Kiel. Looking for that equaliser with Wolfsburg. It is a risk. I don't see a compelling side really. But we're looking at the pre-match odds. Are they going to be accurate in all 3 of these 1.7 shots going a goal down? Hoff and Augsburg I don't have an opinion on. And I'm not sure Leipzig can come back into it. You'd have thought on paper Leipzig would have been looking for a result. But 3 wins in 4 for Mönchengladbach have them hunting for European spot. Birmingham and the Shrews, probably not worth following anymore. Ditto Celtic. Hibs, odds-ons, all delivering. Rotherham, making the right noises, but no shots on target. Doncaster and Carlisle. We've got that opening goal for the odds-on favourite. That looks okay, doesn't it? But again, no shots on target for Middlesbrough. St Truden, if you fancied laying that draw second half with that red card in tow, you're going to get a really good odds swing. I'm not sure, but let's have a look. Who was that? Fleetwood Town, okay. St Truden. And we'll have a quick look at this. So they're 1.4. The draw is 4.6. So you're getting no value whatsoever. The only real way to make a profit here is to delay, isn't it? Just wait and wait and wait and hope they really struggle. But the goal should be coming imminently. Racing Ferrol, Deportivo La Coruña, few too many draws of late. Might be something for Ferrol to grab hold of. Atletico Madrid, another, it looks like a fatigued post-Europe performance. No shots on target, very, very equal match with Espanyol. Wow, talk about tight. Roda and VVV, we're just keeping an eye on Roda because they're pre-match odds on favourites. Another in that 1.6 to 1.7 bracket at home today, going a goal down. That is today's pattern, it seems. So we'll work out some of these. Scotland looks all done and dusted throughout. I don't think there's going to be anything much to interest us. There is a 2.3, the favourite, St Mirren against Kilmarnock. Don't have a strong opinion, so I don't have to play. We can get rid of a few of these. Not going to be playing Norway today, but worth looking at the final result, I would say. Keep tabs on the early season winners. Nac Breda against Groningen. We should be expecting goals in that match. So I'll just get rid of a few of these. Serie B, let's do a catch up on that. Emphatic from Frosinone. Modena Catanzaro. Sud Tirol, 57th minute goal. Absolutely perfectly timed for a 2-0 to 2-1 trade there. What a pity, eh? So Italy looks done and dusted. Bundesliga goals have all arrived, as they tend to eventually. No real surprises for me and no real angles for me either. It was a tough old coupon today. Reims and Marseille is must-win territory for Marseille, although PSG are looking a little out of reach. Marseille still can look after that Champions League place. They've got Nice and Monaco breathing down their necks. It's a Côte d'Azur affair. And we'll be heading to the Côte d'Azur in April for the start of the tennis. I'll try to do some coverage. I might do coverage on Patreon, perhaps, something like that for you as an added bonus, and build up a war chest as well to try to buy some new ideas and bet and go football strategies for the new season, or even to test out in our summer leagues. Let's check our 0-0s at half time. We're looking for motivation, aren't we? So we're going to go to live. We've got that half-time break. We must take advantage of it before it begins again. So we can work through the whole of these English leagues, look at the motivating factors as things stand currently. Well, West Brom, with an extra 2 points, takes them to that magical 60-point barrier. That could be an entry point into the top 6. It is going to be very, very tough, the playoffs. Very competitive indeed. No side must slip up. That's why Bristol City today. Is this a match we can get involved in? Let's have a look. Well, I want to have a look at the market initially, because we've got that motivation for Bristol City. It looks like Burnley odds on pre-match. Certainly motivation from Bristol City though, isn't there, at half time. Middlesbrough 2, we're involved in this one for sure. You can see, turn that to 57 with a win and you're banging contention. So West Brom arguably could do with a win because they keep bringing this lot into a concertina effect behind them. Blackburn against Millwall. 2.35 the favourite, so no problem there. And any others losing? Well, with Blackburn against Millwall already. Sheffield Wednesday losing. Just want to see if they were fancied in the market. 2.6 the favourite against Cardiff. That might have legs. You can see that with a win goes up to 54. Zooms up into the top 8. So that's the kind of motivating factor I'm looking for. So I'm going to be looking at the stats now for the Sheffield Wednesday match, the Owls, because we might see that motivating element come in second half. Oh, it's all Cardiff, so that's made my mind up for me. Unless they can turn it around second half, all Cardiff stats-wise there. Must wins tending to win. And at the bottom, well, they're picking up the wins. All the sides that are live and 16th and lower picking up the crucial wins. Who are the Swans playing today? Is it a difficult side? It is. It's Leeds United. What a pity at this stage of the season, with everyone around you winning, you're stuck with Leeds United. So for me, Sheffield Wednesday looks the biggest motivating factor at the moment to change that around, and the Middlesbrough match as well. West Brom could do with turning that draw into a win as well, just to help cement that playoff place. So we've looked at the Championship. We're going to go again and have a look at English League One. Do this again. So we're looking at second half teams now, like Sheffield Wednesday, like Middlesbrough, where we've got some really good motivating elements involved. Wycombe in third, staying clutching to that 70-point barrier. Again, the top half, unbeaten at the moment. But this is a crueler league. 60 points is the key. So you've got the likes of Blackpool onwards with a realistic chance. Lincoln with an outside shout. Blackpool is 1-1 at the moment, so arguably that has potential. So Blackpool 1-1 against Bolton. 2.3 the favourite. That's all I was looking for, the pre-match odds, to see if the market fancied them and we fancied them with the motivation element. It's really at the bottom where they're struggling, in stark contrast to that league we were just looking at. Must-wins. Shrewsbury, Cambridge, not fancy today at all. Crawley doing the job at the moment against Rotherham. Wigan, little too near the relegation zone, but okay at the moment. So for me, there's no major outstanding plays or desperate need for points. Blackpool could do with an extra 2, take them to 57. Bolton as well, an extra 2 will take them to 63. Yes, Bolton match, that would be the standout, wouldn't it? Bolton Blackburn, possible late lay the draw. That's what I would say there. That looks motivating, doesn't it? It's all about changing the season with 3 points. That's what you're trying to do. Finding teams whose seasons will change with a win. Add 3 to this lot. Zoom. Even with Reading winning, Bolton will go into the playoffs. Wow. That's the kind of motivating factor that stops you. And you're seeing it's a draw, and you're saying to yourself, that is one to target. Bundesliga, no great interest at the moment. We're going to go, I was going to go English League 2, but I don't think it's down here. It must be down a little bit further. All the way down here. I'll have to flag it up. It's not one of my flagged leagues. So there we go. So what we're going to do with English League 2 is do what we've done with the other two. We're going to pick out one or two teams who could change their season with a change in fortune's second half. So again, at the top, Walsall, if they can turn that draw into a win, they'll just broaden the gap between them and Bradford, who aren't playing today. Psychologically important for Walsall, but they've been in really poor form. Wimbledon, vitally important for them. If they get an extra 2 points, they will go third. So Wimbledon is one of the matches to focus on. Where are they? 0-0 at half time. Wimbledon and Walsall. So I'm going to highlight that. Get the Wimbledon-Walsall matchup. You can see the motivating factors here. We can have a look at them again. We're going to go back to these standings. So we'll be looking at Walsall, won't we? League 2, here we go. So Walsall, vitally important. Wimbledon as well will go third. So that is a crucial draw to end, particularly for Wimbledon. Certainly one to focus on, that's for sure. Any season changes? Well, Carlisle and Morecambe will remain bottom two for, I would say, 2-3 extra weeks, 3 or 4 more weeks. They must start picking up wins. So it's crucial for Morecambe, 7 points shy of Tranmere. And all of the others are looking a little blasé at the moment with such a good gap to Morecambe. Only 2 places available in English League 2. So there's no real panic stations at the base, but at the top, for me, Wimbledon and Walsall would be the match to look at. And they happen to be playing each other. So let's have a look at that one. Wimbledon and Walsall, English League 2. There it is. So it's been a very tight affair, arguably. Not much we can gain out of it. Empoli getting the equaliser late on. Oh, I wish I'd laid Como. Oh no, sorry, I got that completely wrong. I was looking for the late winner, weren't we? Late on. A good point for Empoli. I did think Como were far too short. But these 1.7s, they are a trader's friend, meaning they don't tend to lose you money in a trade, i.e. if you cover insurance, they always tend to lose by at least a goal. So it does help. So we're waiting for the second half to begin. I'm just tidying this up. So much Saturday football. And Werder Bremen have confirmed a win. I wouldn't put it past St. Pauli to get a possible late equaliser just for a bit of fun. It'll be very low odds play if you do. Barrow and Chesterfield 0-0. I think I've got the matches of importance figured out. And particularly when you're in these lower leagues, I don't want to get too comfortable with them. These are leagues where you do tend to lose money because sides are so unreliable. They can show wonderful form and just not turn up all of a sudden. Looking at the Championship, we know what's what, really, don't we? Bristol City could do with something today, but they're playing a very, very tough Burnley. It's just a bit unlucky. Just when you need points, you go and meet the big boy. I did say potentially that West Brom could be followable because they could do with turning that draw and a series of recent draws into a win, and help cement the promotion playoff places as well. Swans do need points. They're keeping it tight against Leeds. So second half's going to be interesting. But we've got a few plays up and about waiting for that second half to begin. Lots of HTs. And while that's happening, I'm just going to pop off and get myself a drink. Excuse me for a sec. Right. Back up and running. Second half's beginning now. Oh, that's nice. Green tea matcha. Delicious. So I hope you're all okay over on YouTube. No updates as yet. Good stuff. Okay, so just waiting for the 3 o'clocks. Come on board. Well, Atletico Madrid lead, so I can discount that one for the second half. St Truden, no value to be had there at all. So we're just waiting patiently for the 4 o'clocks to begin. Austria Bundesliga 1.91 Hartberg. Been a good league to trade recently, that. Some readable matches. So Sunderland, Stoke, good lead for them. So we've got all of our, well, third Wickham. Let's shortlist that. If you're anywhere in the top 3 and it's 0-0 at half time, big motivation to do something, that's for sure. So just waiting patiently. Some of them are coming back on board. So we're just going to see if there's going to be a reaction from the likes of Bristol City, West Brom, need points. Swansea playing another big gun. And they did get a goal disallowed first half. And the stats are very, very tight indeed. That's Falkenberg. Bayern Munich making it 3-1. And the mighty Hoff. All hail to the Hoff, making it 1-1 against Augsburg. Didn't have a play there. Pick your battles. So we're just waiting for those 4 o'clocks to emerge. I do like what I've seen from Middlesbrough first half, but mostly shots off target and corners. 13 shots off target, 6 corners, 42 dangerous attacks to 13. That's always a decent enough gauge. While we're waiting, we could have a look at some interesting additional stats. Goals scored, shots on target average. Just having a goal scored second half. Goals scored second half, goals conceded second half average. Just want to see if that will do anything. Has it come up here? No, not at the moment. Okay, not to worry. Will they appear? No. Looks like Leipzig might be looking for an equaliser against Mönchengladbach. It's what has been a very attacking match, at least from the shots off target perspective. They are a good side, Leipzig. Up to you if you wanted to lay Borussia Mönchengladbach. 3 wins in 4, though. Might be a match to research this one if you're looking, particularly for both teams to score angle and whether Mönchengladbach struggle against a fellow top 10. So Leipzig are just hinting at an equaliser. We know they're a quality unit. Not the best this season, though. So with 15 minutes remaining, there is a possibility. The challenge table will tell us everything. So really poor at home recently, Mönchengladbach, haven't they? No second goal scored apart from Bochum and Holstein Kiel. And you'll probably see where they are in the wrong end of the table. Leipzig, 3 consecutive away 0-0s. Wow. So that suggests they might not concede that second goal. 2 consecutive clean sheets, 5 clean sheets in 7. That's a good bit of form, isn't it? For a speculative play, if you fancied it, 7th against 5th, and Mönchengladbach have failed to beat any top 9 side home or away. So let's have a look at this one. Can we trust Leipzig to continue to not concede? And Middlesbrough have equalised. Excellent. And it's a brilliantly timed goal right at the beginning of the second half. Insurance is a tad high if you wanted to have a go like this now. Then we can have a bit of a play about. So let's, not going to get much, 1.46, relatively high compared to what I normally do them at. But backing Leipzig at 16.5, it's probably asking far too much. I'm certainly not going to be doing that kind of a big liability. I can't see the value here, to be honest. It's one of those delaying or insurance plays if you wanted. But it's going to be far too high. I'm just going to do it for a bit of fun. Laying over 1.5 goals. It's going to cost you double. But you should get a really good +1 out of this. So you've got £38.20 liability. I wouldn't recommend you doing this, though. It's not value, is it? Best to wait in the match odds and just lay Mönchengladbach as late as possible. But +1, you can see you're going to get a reasonable return of about 2.5 to 1. So 96 quid. Can you imagine if that becomes a late 1-1? But look at the way down. 80 quid drop. So risk reward, most definitely there. Very tight match. Just thought they were just getting ahead of themselves, Leipzig. Are we going to rely on their clean sheets? Only you saw that pattern recently. Very, very solid clean sheet pattern. Second half, Rotherham, we're looking for an equaliser there from them. Not a strong play, but I'm testing the 1.7 at home theory. It's been very good today. Bristol City do need points, but they're playing the wrong team at the wrong time. Walsall and Wimbledon, arguably the same for Walsall, for Wimbledon meeting top, but they are a top side not winning lately. That draw could be vulnerable, couldn't it? Can Swansea do something? They desperately need points, but again, they're playing the wrong team at the wrong time. Just when you need the points, you're away at Leeds. Let's break and have a look at Middlesbrough. This is a great reaction, isn't it? They're going a goal down, and you know they need to win. No other argument. must win territory. So that's a decent return already. So don't forget you have your options at exit. Way up the match, we have motivation. We've got the vast majority of the second half. We've got 1.7 home favourite. We've got an equaliser early. We've only got a £6 loss on the draw. We've got a potential of 58 quid. Are you going to lock it in, or are you going to look for that? Logic tells you, doesn't it, with a whole half to go, having just equalised right at the beginning of the second half, that Middlesbrough must win. We know that. So it's worth taking the hit in the hope of the win, isn't it? And again, at this stage of the season, they're not going to be playing for a draw. No way. Not on your Nelly. I think we've got that Crawley second goal. So this is what I was telling you about going down to League One, League Two. Always happens. Always happens. You get that sudden second goal. Just in these two leagues, League One, League Two, just a lack of reliability. But those of you with the glass half full, if this is confirmed, you could top up again, as I was saying, very early in the second half. 1.67 at home. You could top up if you wanted. So we've seen that pattern this year, haven't we? Going to League One, League Two. That's where I picked up most of the losses this season. So do pay attention to that. You could top up if you fancied. I normally just add a fiver like this. So I'd be backing Rotherham for an extra fiver, laying Crawley for a £5 as liability. That's going to really boost the returns. Don't forget we've got the whole of the half to go, and it's only giving you an extra £10 lost to your liability. So up to you if you fancied that one. This is the Achilles heel, of course, of insurance. It's 0-2. We've got ways round it. Both teams to score no. Another way is to go neutral, isn't it? Is to lay the scoreline, perhaps. So you're getting big odds about that scoreline, particularly if it's early. St Truden still 0-0, 48 minutes, but the second half just beginning. Highly likely they're going to break through second half. Are we going to get decent short odds about the draw for St Truden? Sheffield Wednesday must do something today to have an outside chance at promotion, but they're playing an inspired Cardiff who must get 3 points. Simple as that. Roda, really good reaction to going a goal down. Again, testing the 1.6 theory. If you fancied it, it's been weird. It's been all 1.6 home favourites today, hasn't it? Going goals down. Again, this will fall into the Rotherham category. Not the greatest or most trustable league on the planet. Roda and VVV Venlo. So it has to be in play stats. You didn't really see them with Rotherham, arguably, did you? So I should have really just held back a bit for Rotherham, particularly given the poor league. Roda +1. It's okay. I might chance match odds here. 1.67 home favourite. Are they going to deliver, as Aberdeen did quite comfortably? If we can get these on before half time, if we get a 1-1 by half time, that's really going to hugely impact the markets. So that's always a good idea if you get on 40th minute, if you fancy to play. So again, we've got that small loss on the draw, tempting you to stay in for the win. See that good reaction? 2 shots on 5 off 4 corners. That's the reaction I expect for 1.6 favourite going a goal down initially. Marseille looking bright against Reims. Marseille must win for the Champions League places. It's the battle of the 3 Côte d'Azur sides, I think. for those places. So keep an eye on Marseille. It is must-win territory for them. They can't really catch Paris Saint-Germain, but they can still remain second and have quite a brilliant season, best season for a very long time. Knack Breda and Groningen, you can check your 0-0 at half-time if you fancied that. So we've got the major focuses. Just a little quiet goals-wise at the moment. So no surprises down there. Wigan and Barnsley. Did we have a pre-match favourite? Well, 2.2 Wigan. Blackpool and Bolton. I think that's an important match, isn't it, for both teams? That draw could be vulnerable second half, couldn't it? 3 points certainly do those two the world of good. And they're both in a similar position in the table as well, so that helps add the motivating factors. And so we've got another goal for Reading against Peterborough. And Mansfield is 1-2 against Bristol Rovers. But we're interested in Middlesbrough, certainly. Marginal interest in Rotherham, but you can tell the in-play stats are woeful, aren't they? No shots on 7 off 3 corners. Not the stats I should have got involved with. I was tempted in by that. I did warn you about going into these lower tiers. We can fall foul of it. And that Blackpool Bolton draw has ended. I did expect that draw to be vulnerable today. Again, you're being rewarded if you lay these draws straight away in the beginning of the second half today, aren't you? And getting a really good strike rate, aren't we? Because they need to win. 0-0s are no good from April onwards. 0-0, no good at all. So let's just have a walk through our odds-on favourites. So that'll be the My Games here. Odds-on Hartberger leading. Panik-Ostrava and Pardubice, too illiquid to play. I don't think we need to be following that one. Burnley and Bristol. Well, Bristol do need something. Swansea needs something. And there's a St Truden goal. It was always coming, but absolutely no value unless you go for a correct score, win 2-0. And we've got that equaliser for Sheffield Wednesday. They did need it, and it didn't look like they were going to get it, but they have got it. Cardiff dominating the match in the relegation zone, but Sheffield Wednesday have that equaliser. Burnley, Bristol City, Leeds, odds on. Middlesbrough have got that equaliser. I've decided to stay in given the amount of time left in the second half and the huge, massive motivation for Middlesbrough. This is where the live standings will remind you. Add another 2 points to that, you're on 57. If West Brom do not win, that's an excellent result, 57. So that's going to be a fascinating end to this match if they can cross that line. Sunderland and Millwall doing the job at the moment. We've got a second Birmingham goal. We don't need to be updated anymore against the Shrews who are going down. Mansfield have come from behind there. I missed all the fun there. Wrexham, odds on, leading. And that's Rotherham Crawley, 0-2. As a gentle reminder, when we head off to League One and the Eerste Divisie, I did warn you about both of these. And bang. So I don't pass these on to telegrammers unless it's very, very strong. Particularly the Roda one I wouldn't have passed on. You can see that 0-2. You're getting the lesson now, aren't you? The lower down the tiers you go, the less reliable these teams become. But it is another option. It's an underdog leading 0-2 on or around half-time. You can, again, top up if you wanted. I don't think there'll be much panic given the league, but it's just a pain having to play without insurance and look for a 1-2 now. I was only playing via the in-play stats, which showed that Roda were pretty solid. So these are unofficial plays. They're not part of the Telegram session, thankfully. But it's just a gentle reminder to you, League One, League Two, Eerste Divisie, as we get into the summer, Norwegian second division, Swedish Superettan. These are going to be troubling leagues. They're not going to be trustworthy. Irish First Division. They all fit together, League One, League Two, that kind of thing. You saw the stats for Roda. Excellent. Look. That's the kind of reaction I want. And then they're suddenly 0-2 down. So that's just a reminder about the leagues, okay? You had two quick reminders there. We can get rid of the St. Truden match now. So Middlesbrough, just the one shot on target. It's a laboured performance. I could do with a goal soon. It would be rather nice. Get that 2-1 in the bag. Coming to the end of the Wolfsburg match. This is where insurance is coming very, very useful, hasn't it? It's saving your bacon or saving your wolf at the moment. I'll just keep an eye on that. And Werder Bremen making it 0-3, but Wolfsburg. Let's just show you Wolfsburg Heidenheim. So we've got nice insurance. We could do what's called a Paul Dunwoody if you wanted to, and that's to look somewhere about. This gets down to about 1.1, 1.09. Cash out if you get a late equaliser. Ka-ching. You will be sorted if you get a late equaliser. You'll double your money. So let's have a look at Wolfsburg's +1, which was pretty good value. Now it's even better. Look at that. Wow. Imagine if you'd have delayed and got involved now. You just need one or two of those to come off. You're going to make a huge return. We're going to make a net loss of about £4.60 if it ends in a draw. So I like that scenario. As long as Heidenheim do not score the next goal, we will be as right as rain. It's been a very good defensive display from Heidenheim. Again, a team who desperately need points. And I was reminding you, these 1.7s don't tend to disappoint, i.e. insurance is paying out on this one. That's what I'm talking about. They don't tend to disappoint. Second goal for St. Pauli. What a pity they couldn't have done that at 2-1. 3-2 to Bayern Munich. A really good sign for St. Pauli that they're battling to stay up. Maybe they can score those 2 goals against weaker teams. They could save their season. Insurance would have been ideal here for Leipzig as well. Against Mönchengladbach. All the goals are flowing in now. Rotherham still a woeful reaction to going 2 goals down to Crawley. But again, it's that stage of the season. Do we stick or twist? We know this lot with a win will change their season. So they're going to be a tough nut to push aside, aren't they? And Swansea have the equaliser, which they need, which they needed. That's yet to be confirmed on In-Play Guru, but it's come up on Football 24. Now, can West Brom do what Swansea just did? Swansea need that equaliser. They got it. West Brom need to change these draw sequences into wins because there is a concertina effect underneath them waiting for their places in the promotion playoffs. So they better pick the finger out, West Brom, dropping points. Blackpool and Bolton was a lay the draw. Get rid of that now. Huge motivation, wasn't it, from both teams Come on, the Borough. We could do with a goal from Borough. Wickham have just scored, 3rd against 12th. This was a lay the draw, waiting for a little bit later. Called them a lot very well today, haven't we? Getting those second half goals coming in. You're going to see an avalanche of them this season coming up to the end of April. Really exciting stuff. Still feel okay about the possibility of Roda getting a goal back to make it 1-2. That's always your exit point for a loss. Your first exit point for a loss is 1-2. Let's have a look at some other matches. Allsvenskan Hacken against Bromma, 1.57 favs Hacken, but there's absolutely no form to work off. We've got a very strong favourite in Polonia in the Polish First Division, which is tradable enough. We'll work our way down here. Cremonese odds on after 10 minutes, 4th in the league. So you'll be looking at laying those draws second half. Anything top 4, top 5, they've got automatic promotion in mind. So draws don't help. They just simply don't help. That's why I'm interested in top 4, top 5 at this stage of the season as well. Any draws, get them. You've just seen that one come in, haven't you? A second ago. I can't remember who it was. I think we've got all of the matches we're interested in. We're going to have another quick shufti down the scores, time, odds on favourites list. And pick up any potentials. So let's have a look through. Any surprises? Not really. I don't know. Swansea had a goal disallowed first half. It's been a very, very tight match stats-wise. I did show you that, didn't I? Exactly the same shots on, shots off, corners, exactly the same dangerous attacks. So 1-1 is not a surprise. You might want to look at a late Leeds reaction. I think they're very good at late goals. Certainly the motivation's there to lay the draw. That's another one to stick on the list, isn't it? By a country mile. If you go top with a win today. So let's just have a look at both of these two coming into this match. And Imperious from Leeds, scoring 2 goals in each of the last 2 matches. Swansea have failed to score in 3 of the last 4. Are they really going to score that second goal, having just got an equaliser? Unbeaten 16 at home suggests that this is going to be a Leeds +1. Last time these two met, 3-4 Swans win. 3-4 winning for Leeds against the Swans. Leeds are unbeaten against 4th and lower. Clean sheets in all bar 1 match at home against 11th and lower. It's just ticking every single box. But Swansea only tend to lose 1-0 against the top 3. And it's 1-1 currently. So they don't really have that second goal. It's a tricky one. Rotherham have a goal back. That's why I've topped up. Let's have a look at the importance of not panicking when you're 0-2 down. So let's just see the impact that this 1-2 is going to have. Got to wait a little bit longer in these lower tiers. Oh, don't say it's another disallowed goal. No. It is like Sud Tirol earlier on. And that's a perfectly timed goal as well. 70th minute. Gives you 20 minutes for the market to hint at the possibility of a 2-2. So that's a pity that. That's a 1-2 would have got you a lower red at the very least. So we're just being unlucky with these disallowed goals. Perfectly timed goals as well. Just looking at late goals for Leeds. Do they have a... Well, look at that. Unbelievable, Jeff. 23 goals scored in the last half hour of home matches. 15 goals scored. 9 and 6, 15 goals conceded in the last half hour for the Swans. So this has 75th minute onwards written all over it. And we're on the 68th minute at the moment, so I will be waiting a little bit longer. I would welcome a Swansea lead here because it'd be a little bit of a stretch to suggest they'd make it 3. So we might get an angle out of that. We've got a potential play with Reims and Marseille now. Just got to break and see whether this is a season changer for Reims. We've always got to factor that in. So it's Marseille and Reims. Reims with a win will take them still 5 points above the relegation zone. They're still above the relegation zone anyway today. And Marseille with a win will break into the 50-point barrier, but they've got no chance of catching PSG. Their important job is to keep Nice, Strasbourg, Lyon, Lille away from that Champions League spot. So it's vital for Reims. That puts the cats amongst the pigeons again. Can we dismiss Reims today? That is the problem. So we'll keep an eye really on what I'm seeing, a bit like that match just earlier on the in-play stats, like the Roda one. All over it on the in-play stats. 1-5-2, 24 dangerous attacks to 1 for Marseille. It's one which would be good to play before half-time because you might get that equaliser before half-time. So let's have a look at this one. Again, get the insurance on as early as possible. And you've got that option. You can always delay if you're happy to take that loss on the insurance. You saw that with Wolfsburg. You could have got 8.6 for Wolfsburg +1. Wow. Marseille +1 is going to be a little too skinny. I'd say about 1.7 or even lower. 1.54. So it tells you if you want to play, you're going to have to go match odds. And again, that puts that draw loss in focus. This is a difficult match because Reims do need to win. They could do a 2-0. You never know. Marseille resigned to second place at best. Shouldn't be catching Paris Saint-Germain at all. But good in-play stats and getting involved before half-time. If you get that equaliser before half-time, it's going to doubly impact on the market because the market's got a full second half for Marseille to get that second goal. So let's go through our watch list as the Wolfsburg match ends. Insurance pays out. Love it when that happens. You're involved right to the very death of any match. And insurance helps hugely. Rotherham and Crawley, again, just a badly timed disallowed goal. Burnley and Bristol City, well, you've got slim hopes. Bristol City needs something, but it doesn't look likely, does it? Walsall and Wimbledon, this was a 0-0 likely to end along with a couple of the others. So I wouldn't be looking at Wimbledon, Walsall equalising. They're not in the best form of late at the moment. Leeds and Swansea, well deserved for the Swans, but 75th minute onwards is when Leeds have traditionally gone absolutely mental goals-wise, and also 16 or 15 goals conceded by the Swans in the last half hour of away matches. So it's going to be a huge last 15 for Swansea. Can they keep that tidal wave at bay? Let's see if that occurs on the 75th minute onwards. Norwich and West Brom, 0-0. Middlesbrough, we're just waiting for that second goal, aren't we? It's a dominant display. Must win. Must. In order to keep tabs on the promotion playoff places. Particularly when you're 1.7. Particularly when you're a home favourite. Must win. That's why I stayed in. It was early enough as well for them to do a job. Nothing much else catching the eye there at the moment. Just few strong favourites like Birmingham adding to their tally. Well, Wigan and Barnsley might be worth watching as we come to the end. It's a good reaction from Wigan, isn't it? Pre-match odds 2.2, not the strongest fav in the world. English League One, again, not our favourite league on the planet. So let's have a look at this one. So which match were we looking at? Touch Wigan and Barnsley. So I've got the wrong league. I have to go English League One, I think. So let's have a look at the Wigan and Barnsley match. I don't know straight off where these two are relative to each other or their recent form or anything else. That's why got that gap of knowledge. Oh, we're just going to have a look. Potential for that Wigan equaliser. So zooming down, no drawing 11 away for Barnsley. The drawing currently. So it was 18th against 11th. Barnsley, I wouldn't have been, well, I wouldn't have been looking at taking them on really because that excellent away winning form against 7th and lower. Quite brilliant. But Wigan have got that equaliser. 2.2, home favourite, good in-play stats. So had you taken a punt on the in-play stats there, this is where these feeds can pay handsomely. Pay your subscription very simply. Rotherham were just bad luck. 71st minute, perfect time. 1-2 market moves with 20 minutes to go. Walsall and Wimbledon, really just looking for that draw to end. Not sure how to play this, but as I said, 75th minute onwards is when Leeds start going absolutely berserk in front of goal. West Brom could do with ending this draw sequence, but the fact that they are drawing means that 0-0 will have to be laid later than now. Also, it's very lackluster performance as well. But just it's one of those 109, 106s given the need for a win for West Brom because draws are getting too frustrating now. Could be killing their season. Middlesbrough, as we know, I've taken the decision to go for a draw, go for the win. But as you know, you could have got out at that 1-1 because it was a very, very nice early 1-1. Talking of 1-1, Sheffield Wednesday getting a well-deserved equaliser. Difficult one to call, but again, it could be a one to lay the draw. You could even just do 106s if you wanted to really keep your liability low on all of these late draws, because that captures the real late winner, doesn't it? Just half time. I only got this up here because it's a league well known for goals. Roda, second half beginning, should get a 1-2 out of this, but it's just a gentle warning to you that like the Rotherham match and the Roda match, going into these lower tier leagues, regardless of the strength of the favourite and their in-play stats, you can still be left with egg on your face, so just be very careful. Marseille should be doing a number over Reims today, but this is must-win territory for Reims, so I wouldn't put it past me for a potential surprise with home favouritism in a post-international setting for Marseille. Highly likely they'll have been affected by the international break. So those are our matches of importance coming to the end of this session. Just waiting patiently. We've got lots of positions, lots of them covered. We're just waiting with some interest to see if we're getting the late goals that we want. Polonia Warsaw, I thought were odds on favourite pre-match. They've gone a goal down to Chobley. Old Chobley Warner. So you want to keep an eye on that one. But again, this fits in with that Eerste Divisie, English League 1, English League 2, Swedish Superettan, Norwegian First Division. All very tricky to trust the odds-ons We just don't know the facilities. We don't know the teams. We don't know the players. Just a huge gap in knowledge. And we've got that Middlesbrough winner. So that's going to take some heart. And it looks like we've got a Marseille equaliser as well, do we? No, we don't. And we've got that Middlesbrough winner. So make sure you cash out. Just give the market some breathing space. It's come at the perfect time as well. So let me just sort that out. Middlesbrough have got the lead, so just wait for the market to flesh out and you'll be getting yourself a nice green screen on that one. Currently, for me, £50. I will green that one up immediately. 2-1 to Middlesbrough. That's the template for this stage of the season, isn't it? Just brilliant. Really good stuff. You've got a motivated side, 1.7 at home, those kind of stats. Goal down, ka-ching. That's more like it, isn't it? Don't forget Leeds. This is where they're going to score if they're going to score. It's an absolute avalanche of goals, 75th minute onwards. Norwich and West Brom is not going to be high priority because we're really lacking that attacking focus. Cardiff and Sheffield Wednesday, arguably that draw could be gettable late on. Points are required for a possible tilt at promotion playoffs and also possible tilt at getting out of the relegation zone. So important stuff there. I think Marseille will get that equaliser against Reims, but it is another one of those you're flirting with disaster with a Reims side desperately needing the win. Pass this on to Telegram. Reims against Marseille is 1-0 coming up to half-time. Marseille battling for the Champions League spots at the top, but Reims could desperately need the points and help their promotion, help their relegation battle. So it's a difficult one, but the in-play stats are with Marseille. 32 dangerous attacks to 2. I've laid over 1.5 goals. I've got match odds. Half stake, back Marseille. Half stake is liability, lay Reims. It's a tricky one though. It wouldn't surprise me if Reims pulled off the win. They are in relegation trouble and they desperately need a win. So you have been warned. It's that part of the season, but the mind says Marseille. The in-play stats say Marseille. Not going to win the title, Marseille, but finishing second will be a superb feat and gives them Champions League footy again, so they can help to attract better footballers. So let's just clear up a few of these as we're coming to the end of the session. Nice to be back with nice busy football. So if any of you want to be testers for any products, or if you want to donate, I'll be putting up a Patreon page. The idea being we're going to be collecting some bet and go strategies for football and some other trading strategies that I can find off the internet where I can get cheap prices. And we can do some testing and we can start bringing in the ones that work, implement them into our day-to-day sessions, and that can include making selections for a number of bet and go ideas with their correct staking plan. So it's exciting, hopefully for next season. That would be really good. So that's my watch list as we're coming to the end of the matches. We were just unlucky with Rotherham, weren't we? 70-minute goal would have changed the complexion of the whole match. Leeds and Swansea, be looking to lay that draw as late as you dare. There we go. That's kicked that one in the knackers, and it's gently reminded you that the only time I really pick up consistent losers is in these lower leagues. Maybe it's a gap of knowledge, or it's just a gap in quality, isn't it, really? Walsall, a late equaliser against Wimbledon. They're still not picking up wins, Walsall. Is that a late draw to take on? Keeps them top, Walsall. Sunderland penalty, that will give them a bit of hope. So let's just look at our odds-ons as we're coming to the end of the session. Possibility to lay the draw in the Leeds-Swansea match. I would target that for a lay the draw late on. And Espanyol have drawn against Atletico Madrid. Oh dear, dear, dear. Struggles at the moment. I would look for a possible Marseille equaliser on paper, but this is one of those matches. One of those matches. Ream must win. They'll still be above the relegation zone, but they must start putting a gap between them and the bottom three. So watch out. You might get nicked by a 2-0. Marseille, I'm sure, have a lot of international players who might be negatively impacted today. And Roda and Venlo, well, again, it's a C Rotherham as far as what I was saying. And I did give you those warnings pre-match. There we go. Look at that. 0-4. That's precisely what I've been saying. Comes out of nowhere. And Leeds have the late winner against the Swans. Did you lay that late draw? Told you, 75th minute onwards. This is what's really saved Leeds' season, isn't it? Those brilliant, brilliant late goals. But it's killing Swansea away from home. Keep conceding very, very late goals. So I do hope you laid that draw. 75th minute onwards was where it was at. Norwich and West Brom, as I say, I'm probably not going to be tempted into that one. Cardiff and Sheffield Wednesday have got an argument for laying that late draw, given the motivation factor for both teams. Again, this is where this comes in very handy. So what I'm going to do again tomorrow, I'll open up the comments because just want to see how many people are interested in a live stream tomorrow. So do let me know if you are. So coming to an end of the session. Not much late action apart from that Leeds United goal and the Middlesbrough play as well. So that was good stuff from Leeds. Perfect timing as well. Bang smack when I said it would be. 75th minute onwards. Don't feel there's any other plays at the moment. So I'll say goodnight to you. Thanks very much for coming along. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer. There's some really interesting football, and I'll see you over on Telegram a bit longer. And if you're interested in trialing any strategies, leave them in the comments on YouTube, and I'll get in touch. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you all again very soon.